During one of the final scenes of Star Wars The Last Jedi, we witnessed the new power of Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, that was of course one of the biggest mysteries of all in a Star Wars film, is exactly how did Luke Skywalker learn the doppelganger technique, and that is indeed the technical term. The more simple term is of course force projection, a power that a lot of people actually criticized a lot because of how it killed him. That is the sole reason as to why Luke Skywalker died. The Force literally killed Luke, as Mark Hamill fully confirmed just a couple of days ago. But looking past all of this for The Last Jedi, future canon pieces we do know are very important to a lot of our characters such as Kylo Ren, Supreme Leader Snoke, Luke Skywalker, the character of Rey, Anakin, Darth Vader. I mean, the list goes on. And 2019 really is going to be a big year, especially a big year for the character of Luke. Now, apparently, in a future canon piece, we will be learning exactly how Luke learned the force projection technique, but not just that, a handful of other new powers that were not displayed on the big screen by writer and director Rian Johnson. And that's one of my complaints for sure, is that I feel like that this should have been explained in The Last Jedi. Now, it's heavily assumed that Luke Skywalker learned the force projection technique through the ancient Jedi books stored within the tree library on Ahch-To. However, that's just an assumption. But the fact that they will be going over new powers for Luke Skywalker that we have yet to see, I feel like that we deserve to see that on the big screen, of him using such powers against Kylo Ren, in which he did. He used one of them, the force projection technique. I think that fans like myself would have just loved to see Luke Skywalker doing something mighty that would actually make Kylo Ren engage in a major fight against his uncle, lightsaber to lightsaber, and Luke doing something nuts, like taking down some Star Destroyers, or just doing something completely revolutionary. So, the character of Luke Skywalker, alright, if you look at the force projection technique, this all stems from a comic book line from the 90s, Star Wars Dark Empire. I've talked about this lightly before in the past, and this is why this power gets some criticism in The Last Jedi. So, let me revert back to the Dark Empire line. So, in Dark Empire, Luke Skywalker actually does get to use this power when he's actually under the manipulation of Emperor Palpatine. He's using the dark side of the Force, and this was actually considered a dark side power at the time. And Luke was able to pull off a double of himself, boarding the Millennium Falcon to leave with Leia, Han, Chewie, 3PO, R2, and they all thought he was with him, but he really wasn't. And he was still on the planet that both himself and Emperor Palpatine were on. And this is just before he goes up and engages in a lightsaber duel against the Emperor once again. But the thing here is this, is that in that line, Luke Skywalker did not die by using that power. So going into, the Star Wars sequel trilogy, it's pretty much assumed at this point that the reason as to why Luke Skywalker died, two reasons. It could be that just, Rian Johnson and the creators of Star Wars as a whole by Disney and Lucasfilm wanted to end Luke Skywalker in the middle film of the trilogy in order to free up space in Episode 9 for our new characters. Or two, alright, he died mainly because he was using this technique across the entire galaxy. Again, Ahch-To and the planet Crate aren't all that close, and in the Dark Empire comic line, Luke actually used this ability at a real close, proximity. The Falcon was pretty much just leaving. But the whole deal with Luke Skywalker that I really do disagree with is how it killed him. I feel like it shouldn't have necessarily killed him. I feel like that Luke should have died perhaps of natural causes, or maybe doing something in the blaze of glory type of thing. But looking at, the facts here for 2019, a lot of stuff is coming our way. We're going to be learning more powers about Luke Skywalker, exactly how he learned the doppelganger technique. And I personally do believe, like I say, I think it all stems from the sacred texts. It's gotta be, right? It has to come from that. There's something very powerful about those books. And each and every one of those books, I personally think is a totally different book that serves a different purpose. I don't think that they all pretty much continue from the last one. I think that each and every book is its own thing. Like, one, for example, is the Jedi Code, the other could go over powers of the ancient Jedi, and, you know, a whole lot more to come. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.